Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining. We're going to go ahead and give a few more minutes to let some more people in, and we will get started right at 2. Hello, everyone, and thank you all for joining. Today, we're going to be talking about data logger basics for building performance monitoring and taking a look at improving the built environment. My name is Anthony Pulio. I'm a sales representative here at Lycor and Hobo Data Loggers. Thank you all for attending, and let's go ahead and get started. To give you a brief overview of the webinar, this webinar will run for approximately 50 minutes, and we will save about 10 minutes to answer some questions at the end. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the questions section of the control pane, and we will try to answer as many of those as possible. If we are not able to get to any, we will do our best to reach out via email and get that information to you. Just so you know, this webinar is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be sent in a follow-up email. For a bit of an overview on who we are, Hobo Data Loggers was founded in 1981, and as of 2024, we are now a part of Lycor. Together, we have over 50 years of experience in environmental monitoring, and our sole focus at Hobo Data Loggers is on accurate and reliable data logging and monitoring. You can find the Hobo facility located in Bourne, Massachusetts on Cape Cod, and we are a world leader in data loggers with a global network of distributors. We are also ISO 9001 2015 certified. Let's go ahead and get started. So to start, we're going to look at the very basics. What is a data logger? And from there, we will take a look at a few common applications for monitoring and some ways to access your data. After that, we will look at an overview of our Hobo IoT monitoring solutions and our remote monitoring stations. And we will also go over some important factors to consider when selecting a data logger. Following that, we will take a look at some frequently asked questions, go over an application story using our data loggers, and finally, we will go over some questions that you have and try to get as many answers for you as we can. So let's start with the very basics. What is a data logger? A data logger is an electronic instrument that records measurements at set intervals over a period of time. This is typically a small battery-powered device, and internally there is an internal microprocessor for data storage, and this can have one or more sensors. The information on these data loggers can typically be downloaded either Bluetooth or USB. We have options that can be deployed indoor, outdoor, or underwater. And these data loggers can record for up to years at a time, left unattended. And when you're done, you'll be able to go collect that logger, download the data, and view it as needed. So a few of the building performance measurements that we'll be going over are some environmental factors. Some of these environmental parameters can be used for indoor environments such as museum and preservation monitoring, shipping and storage monitoring, and construction compliance. Looking at some of our energy and power parameters, some of the common applications include HVAC monitoring, electrical panels, and motor monitoring. And finally, some time of use applications, which can be useful in office spaces and monitoring motor usage. We also have a few underwater and outdoor environmental measurements, which we won't focus too much on the building performance, but you might find some useful applications in wastewater and runoff monitoring for our water measurements. For the weather, you might find the environment in and around your building useful to monitor, such as green roof monitoring. And some of the other parameters that we offer include our third-party sensors, which we have 4 to 20 milliamp or 0 to 24 VDC signals, which can be incorporated into our loggers and our software. So getting into some of Hobo monitoring solutions, our research-grade Hobo loggers and remote monitoring systems put the power of accurate, reliable data at your fingertips, so you can make informed decisions for a sustainable tomorrow. Our loggers and remote monitoring systems help to evaluate the performance of renewable energy sites and green roofs, provide energy use insights to lower costs and conserve resources, as well as assess indoor air quality. From the roof to ducts to office spaces, we have an option for you to save money and reduce your energy usage. For a few common uses for our data loggers, starting from the top left here, green roof monitoring is a great option for monitoring some different weather applications around your office, which in return will help, as we will get a bit more into that shortly. Our occupancy and light data loggers are available for office spaces to help control using light and office capacity. For temp and relative humidity, there are a variety of options available. Different application options for storage and preservation, as mentioned. We also have indoor CO2 options for air exchange and HVAC applications. Some of our temp and light loggers are useful for some hard to reach places. And we also have some outdoor applications for climate monitoring and water resource management. So to get started, we will look at a few data access options. First, we are going to look at our USB loggers. So using a USB data logger is quite easy using either our HoboWare or HoboConnect software. First, you're going to go ahead and configure and launch that data using either HoboWare or HoboConnect. You will secure that logger in place, allow it to record the data needed. From there, you will be able to easily download or access that data. And in either HoboWare or HoboConnect, you will be able to process, analyze, and present the data. So looking at a few of our different USB logger options, we have a temp and RH monitor for accurate and reliable temperature and relative humidity logging. On the top right there, we have our plug load data logger for some appliances such as vending machines or any other sort of 120 volt plug that you'll need for AC power. Our Hobo state data logger, which is used to monitor whether your engines or motors are running. We also have the occupancy and light data logger available to monitor your office spaces and the efficiency of your lights and energy usage. And we also have the thermocouple data logger for more extreme temperatures reaching over 2000 degrees. So starting in the top left there, you can see our UX120-024M thermocouple logger in action, monitoring extreme temperatures in an oven. On the top right, you will see our UX100-011A data logger, which is monitoring temp and relative humidity, as well as an external monitor that can be used to monitor any sort of energy consumption. On the bottom left, you'll find our UX90-006, which is used to maximize efficiency in light usage. And in the bottom right, you'll find our UX90-004, which can be used to monitor if your motor is running using the AC magnetic field. All right, those are all of our USB options. So we're going to go ahead and look a little bit into our Bluetooth capabilities. So using a Bluetooth-enabled data logger is quite simple. It's a low-cost solution for monitoring a wide range of measurements. It'll allow for easy streamlining data collection with a convenient wireless setup and download for hard-to-reach locations. You'll be able to download that data directly to your mobile device or your Windows computer running our free Hobo Connect app. These data loggers are compact, battery-powered, and easy to deploy. For a little bit more on the Hobo Connect app, it'll allow you to easily locate and view all loggers within the 100-foot Bluetooth range with no pairing required. All you'll have to do is tap right on that device to connect, and you'll be able to access, configure, and download data. In order to configure your logger, you'll be able to select it and take a look at the options. Some of the configuration options include the logging interval. You'll be able to program alarm notifications, add password protection if needed, and you'll be able to start and stop the device. Upon completing the data collection, you'll be able to open back up that Hobo Connect app and download and view the data within seconds. After collecting that data, you'll easily be able to share it using an Excel file, CSV file, Hobo file if you want to pull it up in HoboWare, or PNG if you want to easily take a picture and send that data. Looking into some common measurements for Bluetooth loggers, we have a variety of options, some of which include light intensity to protect sensitive artwork and artifacts, AC and DC current and voltage for energy monitoring, and a variety of air parameters for HVAC applications. As you can see, some of those include air velocity, compressed airflow, and differential pressure. So getting into our newest building performance Bluetooth loggers, the MX1104 and the MX1105 support a wide range of measurements, including light, temp, RH, energy, and more. These are designed to withstand harsher than normal work environments with an IP54 rated housing. These features an LCD display for easy viewing of the current conditions, and the self-describing sensors that are available, which are automatically recognized by our software for efficiency, which eliminates the need for programming or extensive setup. Some of our self-describing sensors include air, water, and soil temperature, food grade stainless steel temperature, pipe temperatures, AC current, DC voltage, and 4 to 20 milliamps for some third-party sensors. We have a variety of other options. These are just a few. These loggers also offer a locking jack to ensure cable safety, so you don't have to worry about the cable getting knocked out or losing any data. These loggers are able to store a significant amount of data at up to 1.9 million measurements, and they're battery powered to last 1 year at a 1-minute logging interval. So you can go a whole year without having to look at the logger and have all of that data ready and easily accessible. Looking at a few other commonly used Bluetooth data loggers, we have our MX1101 temperature and relative humidity logger. This is frequently used for museums, whether it be art, artifacts, or anything else, to be able to easily view the environment around them. Also frequently used for wood floor warranty monitoring. When you first install that hardwood floor, you want to make sure that the proper environment it's being stored in, you'll easily be able to tell if that warranty is voided. Some other options include warehouse mapping or using a factory or any other office space. To the top right there, we have our MX2301A. which is quite similar to doing the temperature and RH of the MX1101, but this might be more used in higher relative humidity environments or an area where you might find some more construction debris. This logger has a Gore-Tex vent for protection to keep anything from getting inside of it. On the bottom left, you'll find our Hobo Pendant Waterproof Temperature and Light Data Logger, which is the MX2201. A frequent application for this includes air ducts and hard-to-get locations, or hard to reach, which is convenient with the Bluetooth offload because you won't need to get up there and download the data. You'll be able to use Bluetooth to get it directly from where you're standing. Finally, on the bottom right, we have our MX1102A, which monitors carbon dioxide, temperature, and relative humidity. The common application for this is HVAC usage for air change rates. This is a very popular logger during COVID to ensure proper HVAC function and airflow. All right, so we'll get into a little bit of our Internet of Things solutions using the MX Bluetooth data loggers. Here you see the MX Gateway, which allows for our Bluetooth loggers to be connected to what's called our Lycor Cloud platform. So what the MX Gateway does is offer near real-time measurements to the Lycor Cloud platform, as many of you know it, HoboLink. You'll be able to easily receive email or text alarm notifications. You'll be able to set alarms for parameters that are outside of your range and some other necessary alarms such as low battery, if the logger is stopped, or if it disconnects. You'll easily be able to know when these need to be adjusted and you can go in and change them. The MX Gateway will need to be within 100 feet of the Bluetooth logger, and this is powered by either AC power or power over Ethernet. And it is compatible with all of our MX loggers. So following Bluetooth, we will now get into our web-based systems or cellular, long-range, wireless, remote loggers. So our two main product lines for remote monitoring systems are the RX2100 and the RX3000. We tend to recommend the RX2100 for some more simple applications, and we often find it optimal for HoboNet solutions indoors. The RX3000 has much more expansive capabilities and is more of an ideal option if you have multiple different applications such as water level as well as some HoboNet monitoring. So to get a little bit more into that, the RX2100 is a small, low-cost solution with cellular communication. This has AC power and solar power options with a battery backup. This supports 5 of our plug-and-play sensors, as well as has the capability of our HoboNet wireless sensor network, which I will get into shortly. The RX3000 has a bit more capability than that of the RX2100, offering 10 plug-and-play smart sensors, while it also offers 2 modules to include some of our options such as HoboNet as mentioned before, water level, analog inputs, or a relay switch. So to get into the HoboNet a bit more, as I mentioned before, HoboNet is a scalable system with up to 50 wireless sensors that can stream back to one central cloud-based hub. And this technology is a self-healing wireless mesh network with up to 1,500-foot line of sight range. The self-healing wireless mesh network allows the sensors to communicate with one another if they are unable to report directly back to the station. This allows for HoboNet deployment to cover an expansive area, maximizing monitoring for large data centers and warehouses, while also having the capability of navigating through dense structures with thick steel or concrete with the mesh network. Temperature and RH sensors are frequently used in monitoring applications, but we also have pulse sensors, which can be connected to motors and other electronics to monitor whether they are running, as well as our new analog mode. So our new analog mode, which will allow you to incorporate multiple third-party sensors into your HoboNet system. The onboard memory on these sensors allows to ensure no data loss, And they are powered by two user-replaceable lithium AA batteries, which the battery life on these is approximately 1 year. So as we get into the Lycor Cloud software a bit more, it will allow for 24/7 web access to your data, and it will allow you to verify if the RX station and HoboNet sensors are up and running, and you'll be able to view their status remotely. You'll also be able to manage the alarm notifications over the web, and you'll be able to configure and customize dashboards that highlight the most important measurements. The customizable dashboards will allow you to view your data how you want, whether that be graphs, charts, or tables, and it will also allow you to add your team to view data, which with options to limit capabilities by user if you only want certain employees to be able to configure, while others only the ability to view. The capabilities do not end in Lycor Cloud, with the ability to create public dashboards or move the data into your own software with API integration. We also have a Google Maps feature, which will allow for easy display of your sensor locations and where the station is located. Lycor Cloud also has the capability of configuring calculated channels, such as dew point and accumulated rainfall, to add more efficiency and make your job even easier. So as mentioned in the previous slide, you have the option to insert a Google Earth photo of your warehouse or factory or any other application to map your sensors in an easy to view fashion. This will show you the location of each sensor and how they're communicating back to the central hub. This gives you a quick and easy view of which sensors might be out of your optimal parameters, allowing for efficiency in resolving any issues that the sensors detect. So the next decision is, which logger or remote monitoring station should I go with? So the first question you'll have to ask yourself is, do I want to go with a data logger or a remote monitoring solution? Is there a need to view the data remotely, or are you able to just come back when it's needed? Next question might be, will I be needing an alarm? Is this something that I need to be able to fix immediately or find out if something's wrong? When you're in a factory application and the temperature is rising above, say, 90 degrees, and that's outside of the comfortable range, that's something that you might need an alarm for, so you want to know right away. Whereas if you're logging outdoors and the temperature is above 90 degrees, that's going to happen naturally and might not affect anything that you're in research for. So you'll also need to consider the length of your deployments. Is this going to be long-term or short-term? Is this something that needs to be portable and moved around, or a permanent installation? Something like an MX1101 can be easily moved around. That's the temp and relative humidity logger. It can be changed as needed. Whereas some of our HoboNet and remote monitoring stations might be a little more permanent for a long-term factory installation. You'll also have to consider your facility. Do you have access to internet, or will you need to use a cellular station? And is power outages going to be a problem, as we know that some storms can hit certain areas and lose power for a few days? Is that going to be a problem? We have options for solar power as well as battery backups to solve this. You'll also need to consider different options in powering your device. Is there readily power available, or will you need to consider a solar option? Finally, you'll have to consider the easiest way to view your data. Will it be USB, Bluetooth, or Lycor cloud remote monitoring stations? All right, so next we're going to go into some frequently asked application questions. So the first question that some people might ask is, what are the advantages of installing a green roof? So covering a roof with soil and plants will allow you to save money, which can pay off through mitigating stormwater runoff, offsetting interior heating and cooling costs, dramatically increasing the roof membrane life, and reducing the urban heat island effect to keep your cities cool. So some might ask, what do I need to monitor a green roof? So what we recommend is a remote monitoring station, which I usually recommend the RX2106 remote monitoring station. And some of the sensors that you might need for this include 2 rain gauges, 2 soil moisture and temperature sensors, a solar radiation sensor, an air temperature and humidity sensor, and a wind speed and direction set. Another frequently asked questions that we receive is, what do you recommend as a simple solution for monitoring HVAC systems to ensure optimal performance and proper IAQ in a building? So the Hobo MX1102A makes monitoring carbon dioxide levels indoors easily. This will allow you to help ensure proper circulation of fresh air and maintain compliance with ASHRAE, which is the American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers. This was a frequent application during COVID, as many HVAC systems had to be ensured that they were performing how they should be, as concerns of getting sick in the area were common. So you'll always have to remember that the MX1102A should be deployed right around mouth level to maximize the usage. Some of the other benefits of the MX1102A include that it's compact and battery powered for easy installation or easy moving around if you need to test in different locations. This is also a Bluetooth device, which allows for easy Bluetooth access and data download, as we looked at before. There's also a large LCD screen for easy visual inspection and has audible alarm notifications if things are going outside of those ranges. So another questions frequently asked is, what are the best practices for connecting current sensors to air compressors and HVAC systems? So the first, you would apply a data logger to industrial machinery with monitoring production equipment, uptime, and downtime. So the HVAC system, the most common logger that we use is the MX1105. What we use with that is temperature probes and a current transducer, and as well as monitoring supply and return air and power. Another frequent logger that we use with this is the UX90 motor on-off logger or state logger, and which in some of those harsher environments where you're looking to monitor temperature and relative humidity, you might also use the MX2302A. So another question is, what is a safe, inexpensive, and simple solution that doesn't require an electrician to identify sources of energy waste so that they can be corrected? And what we recommend using is the UX90 occupancy and light data logger. This data logger is easy to deploy and will avoid having to hardwire the wiring into circuits. What this can do is measure room occupancy up to 12 meters away, and it has auto calibration, which allows for easy on-off thresholds and reliable readings, as well as an LCD screen to make things easy to view. Um, The important thing out of this is leaving the light on with no one in the room is wasting energy, and the UX90 will show you exactly how often that energy is going to waste. Another frequently asked question we receive is, what are the different types of wireless networks, and how do I choose which one is the best for my project? The first thing you're going to have to consider is the space between the loggers and if there is a centrally located location. If all of these loggers are going to be nearby one another and you do have a centrally located location available, as well as Wi-Fi or Ethernet available, the MX Gateway might be the right decision for you. If you have multiple MX loggers in a general vicinity where you can place that MX Gateway, you'll easily be able to connect as many loggers as you need to that gateway, allowing for easy remote access. If the location you're working on is a bit larger and you don't have the capability of short connections, the HoboNet sensors may be a better option for you. These sensors can transmit and receive data and alerts via radio signal and will extend the network for larger facilities, allowing you to spread these sensors over a much greater distance. The station is ideal if centrally located, but it is not necessary, as this mesh network will allow communication through each of the sensors to report back to the central hub. So another frequent question is, how is the 2,500 square foot suggestion applied to office spaces or larger facilities? So as a rule of thumb, we recommend that for every 2,500 square feet in an office space, there is one data logger. This will vary based on many factors. Location of vents, concrete floors and walls, and windows can all play a part in changing your indoor environment. Utilizing data loggers will allow you to maximize your understanding of your space. For example, Sarah is constantly cold because the air conditioning blows cold air directly on her. And during the winter, she feels cold because her desk is on a cement floor and against an outside cement wall. So there you might consider needing an extra data logger there and not following that 2,500 square foot space. But as a general rule of thumb, this will work, but you'll always have to consider your application. So does the 2,500 square foot rule still apply as you get into more complex spaces with walls and partitions? The short answer is it does not. And you will have to base the quantity of loggers needed off of what you are looking to get out of your data. You must take into account where the vents are located and how the sun might affect each side of the building with a variety of other impacts you'll need to take into account when understanding what you're looking to monitor and what locations you need to deploy these loggers in. So getting into an application story, Encoat is an advanced materials company that focuses on sustainable solutions to help decarbonize the built environment. Encoat relies on our Hobo data loggers to measure the thermal performance in both lab and field scale environments to rapidly prototype innovative temperature regulating building products that enhance building performance. How they use these tests is they use both our MX1101 and our HoboNet temperature and relative humidity loggers, or sensors, excuse me. They use that in two identical enclosures in this picture included. The one on the right, which has the Encoat coating available, whereas the one on the left does not. What they did was subjected these same external environmental conditions on an extremely hot and dry day in the Arizona climate. And using Encoat's adaptive materials technology, they were able to apply this to one building and left the other. And from there, we can look at the results in our LiCore cloud platform. So using the data collected by the HoboNet temperature and relative humidity sensors, as well as the MX1101s, Encoat was able to easily view these trends in LiCore Cloud. The building coated with Encoat's adaptive materials technology showed low power consumption to maintain the required internal temperature and illustrated the success of its product and leading to a larger scale pilot study. So as you can see in the picture there, they're able to easily view their data as needed, and they can customize the dashboard to view it however they like. So from there, we are going to get into a few of your questions.
All right, Anthony, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you all right.
All right. Hey, everybody. My name's Sean. I'm a colleague of Anthony's. I'm here. I'm the question guy. Actually, Anthony, looking at this, no one has any questions. This is a first, but I think it was just because you were so thorough and did a great job. But yeah, no questions at all. I think one of the things that I kind of picked up where we may want to explain a little bit more is the HoboWare versus the Hobo Connect, and what the differences are, and maybe an update on what Hobo Connect can do now when it comes to those USB loggers and the compatibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So as many of you may be familiar, that HoboWare has been the main source of downloading and viewing the data from our USB loggers. And as some of you know as well, the Hobo Connect app has been more focused towards our Bluetooth loggers. As we move forward, we begin to use Hobo Connect more and more, and we've recently incorporated the ability to use many of our UX loggers or USB loggers into Hobo Connect. So this allows for easy data access, viewing, and export to show where that data is located and easily to move it. So as we move forward, we'll continue to expand the capabilities of Hobo Connect, and this will continue to make data logging easy and efficient.
Right, and that would be on your laptop. So it would be desktop computers running Windows or Macs. So it would not be on, say, obviously an iPhone where it is a USB device. All right, we are getting some questions. Let's see. Will you send the presentation to the participants? I'll answer that. Yes, we will, absolutely. So what we'll do is we'll send a follow-up email to everybody, and within that will be a link to the webinar. So anyone who signed up, whether they're here or not, will get that email with that presentation. So feel free to pass that on to anyone that you think would be interested. All right, so my HoboWare devices connect to my computer via USB. Is there a simple guide I can access to better understand how to best use the device? Specifically, I'd like to regularly download the data, deleting off the device to keep records of the humidity, temp, etc. levels, typically on a monthly basis.
Yeah, absolutely. So depending on the logger that you're using, it might be good to take a look at the device manual, as well as some of the resources that we have available on HoboWare, and even considering taking a look at Hobo Connect and using that software as well.
Right, and with that too, you can configure your logger, and then when you download it, you can reconfigure. Once you reconfigure, that overwrites any data that was on the logger previously. All right. And let's see here. Does Hobo have a data logging solution to measure municipal water meter usage? Oh, sorry. At a 1 minute interval. So that's
Yes.
on a meter itself with a pulse output.
Yes, you will be able to use the pulse input. We do have a variety of options there. If you are looking to remotely monitor that, we do have a pulse input HoboNet sensor where you'd be able to view that and set alarms if needed.
Okay, perfect. What is the type of technical support that Hobo provides clients at a pre-sale stage to assess the project case and suggest the optimum solution?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can actually go to the next slide here to show that information. So we have both a technical support team as well as product application specialists who will be happy to help. If you are in the stage of needing a logger, please feel free to reach out to the product specialists and they will be able to assist in finding the correct logger for you. If you already own your logger, you might consider calling our technical support team who will be able to assist you with your current needs.
Okay, perfect. Elizabeth is asking about HoboWare being phased out, and I can take this one. At some point, Elizabeth, but what you'll have with Hobo Connect will be all of that same functionality. So HoboWare will still be around for years, but we'll start to see customers migrate over to Hobo Connect because it will offer exactly what HoboWare offers you. And that's when you get into those export files, things like that. It'll all be the same. Is it possible to integrate Hobo data loggers and sensors with an existing BMS to use logger data and automated actions? I can answer that one too. So not really. There's not really an easy way. It's not really our niche. We are more of the we monitored where those building automation systems don't measure. So the way that you could do it is kind of in a roundabout way where you're exporting, say, in a simple CSV format and then importing that data into the BMS. So it's not an easy task. Is it possible? Yeah, but it's not easy. It's absolutely manual. And then we'll do, let me see if we have one more here. One sec. Is there an annual or a monthly charge to your web-based system? We'll make this the last question, and any other questions that we have, we will absolutely follow up with you with the answers to those.
Absolutely. So we have two separate data plans. So for our remote monitoring stations, such as the RX2100 or the RX3000, we go off of a yearly cellular plan. So there's three different options for that plan, starting at $99, which is a basic plan that allows for 1 hour logging and up to 10 data channels or measurements. And when I say that, a temperature and relative humidity sensor would be 2 data channels or measurements. The next plan would be our standard plan at $199 per year. That one will allow for up to 5-minute logging and up to 25 measurements. And then we have a premium plan for $399 per year, and that will allow for the maximum logging rate of the sensor and unlimited measurements. So for our MX gateways and Bluetooth data loggers, we also have a data plan available for that, and that would be a $25 per year charge for each logger that you have connected to the gateway for the access to the Lycor cloud platform.
All right. All right. Well, thank you, Anthony. This was great. Great job. Again, we'll be forwarding out that a link to this presentation in an email within the next couple of days. And again, please feel free to pass those out to anyone you know. And then leave it to you, Anthony.
All right, great. Well, thank you everybody for joining. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you please feel free to reach out to myself, our technical support team, or product application specialist if you have any questions. And I hope you have a great afternoon.